Hello. Today we are going to be talking about writing journals and hopefully some helpful tips to help you and your child do some writing at home. So I have my handy dandy volunteer here, Ella. Ella, say hi.
Hi.
And we're going to do a little writing just to model some of the things that your child is working on in their writing at school and can do at home for you as well. So if you have a kindergartner at home, they should have a packet with papers that look like this. If you have a first grader at home, they should have a packet of papers that look like this. I will be emailing out more of these papers so that as your child uses the journal, if they run out of paper, you can print off more. If you don't have a printer, no problem. Any paper is great. If you're running out of paper, use a dry erase marker on a dry erase board, chalk, anything like that that you can just use over and over again would work great as well. So the first thing your child will do on their sheet on the top is write their name. All of my students are working on writing their first and their last name using proper capitalization. So be sure to start with a capital at the beginning of your first name, do a finger space, and then a capital at the beginning of your last name. You don't have to worry about this little line, that's just for the date. Okay, so my volunteer has her name at the top of the paper. Next, I'd like you to grab your pink paper. It's not exactly the same color of this, but it should have a little owl at the top and say reading homework. This will give you a lot of strategies. Each of my groups got a different pink paper based on what we were working on in group. So it'll be really individualized for your child in terms of what words does your child know, what strategies is your child applying, that sort of a thing. But all of my pink papers have some bold sight words or popcorn words here in the middle. Those are words that your child has learned in group to spell properly, and those are sight words that I would like correct spelling of during journal writing time. So for my kindergartners, it's a pretty complete list. These are all the words that your child knows how to spell. So I can zoom in on that a little bit so you see what I'm talking about. For my first graders, these are the most recent words your child has been working on in group. However, your child knows additional sight words. So ones that are more basic than the ones listed here, your child would be expected to spell as well, right? I am, like, the, see, those sorts of things. So again, please consult your bright pink paper to see exactly what words your child has worked on spelling. Any words that aren't included on that, we're going to use what's called inventive spelling, and we're going to ask your child to write the sounds that they hear in words. So my kindergartners also have some handy dandy sentence starters. So here on the bottom, you'll see some sentences. I am, I can, I see, and those sentences can be the sentences your child starts with. So, for example, we'll take my friend as a kindergartner and tell her, let's write today, Ella, a sentence that starts with I am. Now, those are both words that she has learned to spell. So go ahead. All of our friends are working on using their very best handwriting. My kindergartners are working on just trying to write on the line as best as they can and write in the neatest handwriting that they are able to do. My first graders are also really watching letter formation as well as dive down letters. So here's some examples of dive down letters, Y, G, and J, and that sort of a thing. So parents don't have to stress about that, but any kiddos watching this, if you're in first grade, I know you know how to do this. Show it off to your families, okay? So Ella, go ahead, write I in your nice, neat handwriting. Give it a top and give it a bottom. Perfect. Now she's going to do a finger space. Especially my kindergartners, I recommend using 2 fingers. Can you use 2 fingers? There you go. Now she's going to write am. Good job forming that A. Now, all of my friends are working on using spacing between their words. That might be something you need to remind them, just like I prompted my volunteer to use spaces. Some of our friends are more independent at that, especially in first grade. My First graders are also working on capitalization. So I would expect them to start with a capital and then use all lowercase except for names. Kindergartners, that's a brand new topic that we just started talking about and not something to stress too much over. So right now, she has written her known sight words. I am was the prompt. Everything after this are going to be words she has not learned yet. So these are going to be words that she writes the sounds she hears. She might just hear one or two dominant sounds, and that's fine. This is going to help her build her phonics and her word work skills, and then she'll be able to apply things that we are learning to her writing as well. So we're just going to stretch out some words. So what is something you are doing while you're home and not at school, Ella? Can you think of something? I am
playing.
Playing? We could do playing. What if we do riding my bike? She's been doing a lot of riding her bike. I am riding. Can you do the sounds? Oh, let's do a finger space. So again, you can prompt them for that. Riding. If your child gets to the sound and is wondering, how do I make that letter, or what letter is that? I'll be emailing our handy dandy alphabet chart. So she could look at rainbow and see how to form an R. You can make capital or lowercase, sweetie. Okay. For first graders, this is handy to see what a capital versus a lowercase is. So let's say your child made a capital R and you say lowercase and they go, how do I make a lowercase? You can look right here and you can see that that is the lowercase R. Okay, so that'll be handy. Again, if you aren't able to print it, just look at it on your phone, computer, or other device and load it up for your child there. Okay, I am. Now you're writing riding. Say the word slowly. Let's see what other sounds we hear. Ride.
Duh, duh.
A d, d, d. What letter do you need? A D. Good job. I am riding. Do you know how to spell ing, Ella? How do you spell ing? I. Good job with that N. You got it. I-N-G. I am riding. Ing is an ending that all of my first graders know. It might be new to some of my kindergartners. I am writing my. So you'll need another finger space. Now, if I were looking at her sheet, I would see that my is a sight word she does not yet know how to spell. For some of your friends, it's a word that they do know how to spell. Go ahead and do my.
Okay.
Remember that finger space.
There.
Good girl. And she's using her neatest handwriting. Very nice. My. What? Can you finish the word off for us? Just do your best. I am writing my.
Ma. Like mama. Oh.
It could be an O. My. I hear an I sound at the end.
I.
We'll learn the proper spelling of that word soon.
Mom, is it I?
You can write the I. Go ahead. This is a common question. Did I spell it right? A good answer for that is you did great. You wrote the sound you heard. That way you're not saying, yes, it's right or no, it's wrong, but you're acknowledging exactly what they're doing. They are writing all the sounds they hear, which is exactly what we're asking of them, which is great. Another common question is, how do you spell blank? And our best response to that, again, is, well, let's work on those sounds together. And you can say the sounds slowly with your child and help them hear more of them sounds. That's great too. But also see if they can do some of the words on their own as well. I am riding my bike.
They're not enough room.
So go down to the next line. What sounds do you hear in bike? Good girl. Again, first graders would be doing this all in lowercase. Any other sounds you hear in bike? Very nice. And she wrote those sounds. Now, Let's see. Is our sentence done?
Bike.
Let's read it together. Point for me. I am riding my bike. Excellent. Do you know what goes at the end of a sentence, Ella? So most of our friends would probably put a period at the end of that sentence. I know you often like to do exclamation points. Would you like a period or an exclamation point on that, Ella? A period. Beautiful. So let's show all our friends watching. Ella wrote, I am riding my bike. And those were the sounds she heard, which is fantastic. If you are in first grade, you might know more spellings or more sounds of these words, which is awesome. And next, she'll do a detailed picture on the top. She could even label herself and her helmet and her bike and where she's riding and all of that stuff within the picture as well, okay? First graders can most definitely write more than a sentence on each journal page, I would recommend. So maybe they could add a sentence about where they ride their bike or what they like to do on their bike, right? Where do you like to ride your bike, Ella?
On the side of the street.
She just learned to ride in the neighborhood, so she might like to ride around the block. So she could add that as another sentence if she were a first grader. Okay, so that's just a little example for you. Ella, why don't you write one more sentence while I go over a few other things, okay? Can
But
you write?
I might not know how to spell.
I'll help you. Can you write I can with a finger space in between? Thank you. I've got my little list of notes here. So while your child is writing, they are working on using finger spaces, starting with a capital letter and then using their lowercase.
Excuse me?
Do you need a finger space?
2 fingers or 1?
I would use 2 fingers.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
And then write can, honey.
I know.
So finger spaces, start with a capital, use all lowercase except for names, use punctuation, and then again, proper spelling of the popcorn words that we have learned, which are those ones that are in bold on your pink sheet. Okay, I will email out this checklist for you as well. And again, kindergartners, don't stress too much about the capitalization. If you are a first grader in Mrs. Wade or Mrs. Cusit's room, you have also learned cups. So I'll attach that for those families as well. And these friends write cups going down. Can I see this for a second, sweetheart? Just those friends in Wade and Cusit's room would write cups. And then when they were done reading, they would check off, did they follow capitalization? Understanding, read it over, does it make sense? Did you omit a word? Is there spaces between all the words? P is punctuation, and S is spelling. Check the spelling on all those sight words that again are bold or words that your child would already know. So those will be emailed out. Ella has written, I can. What's something you can do, Ella? Should we write I can?
Gallop.
You can gallop. Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Gallop. Write it. Do a finger space. Gallop. Say the word slowly. So she was making the k sound. If she were to write the k, I would say the word carefully and slowly with her. Gallop. Do you hear a k in that word? No. G. And again, I could pull out my handy dandy chart so that she could find the g would start with a G. And she can look at it for letter formation if needed as well. Nice. Say it slowly. What other sounds do you hear?
Gallop. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Like a thought.
Yeah.
Gallop.
Mm-hmm. So she just did a short vowel sound. All my first graders are expected to have their short vowel sounds down, and I will attach this as well so they all know A apple, E exercise, I itch, O octopus, U umbrella, and some of my kindergartners are starting to work on those short vowels as well. So that will be an added resource. What other sounds do you hear? Gallop. Excellent. Add that p sound, add that P. All my first graders also know their digraphs, so I'll add that in there. So let's say that she were doing a word that had one of the digraphs, SH, CH, TH. QU is not a digraph, but it's another writing pattern that we're working on. So I will attach this because I would expect them to be able to apply that in their writing. Many of our kindergartners have just recently learned these digraph sounds, and they may not yet be applying it to their writing, but you could always show them the pictures and help them. So let's say they were gonna write, I can tie my shoe, and they were on shoe and they said shh. What letters make the sh sound? You could be perfectly fine saying shh is a tricky one that makes S-H, sh, 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 S-H, sh, sh, sh. For C-H, we do C-H, ch, 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 C-H, ch, ch, ch. And T-H actually has two sounds, the soft TH sound as well as the voiced one, voiced and unvoiced, I should say. So
Is that
th like thumb and the like the word the or they. T-H, just a minute, the, T-H, the. So those are some extra resources that I'll be emailing out. Again, these resources are just to be an additional help, but they're not to be a stressor. If some of these things don't happen, that's okay. Have your child write every day. Ella, just a moment. Have your child write every day and you're doing great. If your child can write those sounds and words and you're not spelling words for them, that is awesome. If that's what you take away from this, then that is fantastic. Write every day, have fun writing, and make it fun. At school, we only get to write with standard yellow wooden pencils. So write with mechanical pencil, write in marker, write in colored pencil, write in chalk or dry erase marker, and keep it fun, keep it exciting, okay? If your child does some writing, snap a picture and email it to me or post it on our Facebook page, and I would happily respond and be super, super proud and excited about that. Ella just wrote, I can gallop. So if we used one of our checklists, if I can find it, we could check and see, okay, did you use your finger spaces, Ella? Are there spaces between your words? There are. For her age group, we're going to skip the capitalization. Did you use punctuation? Did you end with a period or an exclamation point, Ella? Oh, there's a nice period. You added it in there. And then did you spell your popcorn words properly? Did you write I and can just the way they're spelled? You did. Great job. Remember, you are your child's biggest cheerleader. So writing and reading time should be fun and exciting and encouraging. And that's really number one. We want it to happen every day, but be creative to keep it fun. Cheer your child on, and if you're positive about it, it will help them keep positive about it as well. Kindergartners, again, are just writing those dominant sounds. It might be 1 or 2 letters a word. That's great. First graders are trying to get in the short vowels as well as some of those digraphs, CH, SH, TH. Some of my friends in first grade are using the Orton-Gillingham approach. If you're in Mrs. Perrine's room, Miss Burke, Mrs. Cusitt, or Mrs. Wade, your child may find it helpful to pound and tap out the sounds in words. So for words that have a consonant, vowel, consonant pattern, so 3 letters, it's particularly helpful. So for example, if they were writing net, they could pound net, et, net. If they were to do bug, they'd pound bug, b-u-g, bug. So if your child is in Perrine, Burke, Cusitt, or Wade's room, that's another technique that they can use both in their reading and writing that may be helpful. First graders do have a list of consonant, vowel, consonant words on their pink paper, and I will be reaching out on another day with some other ideas you can do with those words as well, but that's just a sneak peek on that. And keep it fun. I would recommend trying to do journal writing 5 days a week, but do other fun writing things. Write pen pal letters. Ella's writing pen pal letters to her friend Cameron back and forth, right? We're also doing reading parties, doing FaceTime, or in our case, we're just using Facebook Messenger as a video portion. So her and her friend are reading to each other that way, and us as parents are doing fun read alouds back and forth just to keep it social and fun. So any way to keep it engaging. I know this was a little bit lengthy, but I hope it was helpful. If you have more questions on writing, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can always email me, is probably the easiest way, or just post on Facebook as well. And again, have fun writing and write those sounds you hear, and no spelling. Don't have your parents spelling for you, okay? So I miss you guys. I can't wait to see all the great work you're doing, and great job. We'll see you later. Elsie, bye.
Bye-bye.